Hello and welcome to this video of the Cloud Security Connector for AWS version 3 from Maidenhead Bridge. The version 3 of the Cloud Security Connector presents some very nice functionalities, and the most important is zero-touch configuration with a Zscaler. It means that during the deployment, we need to create a JSON file with some information, and during the deployment, the CloudFormation template will create the resource on AWS, the instance, security group, public IP, and the provisioning of the ACCM agent. And when the connectors turn on, the first boot, the connector will contact the Zscaler API. I will create the static IP, GRE tunnels, and will select the nodes, primary, secondary, and will create the location for you. Then you don't need to configure anything on it. Then it's zero-touch configuration. The only thing we need to do is to prepare the JSON file. In addition to this version 3 has the capacity to do bypasses using proxy bypasses using URLs and routed bypasses. This is new. That was in use for a long time on customers as a custom configuration, but now it's a standard feature. Then when you have devices with back files or Zscaler client connector, normally you use proxy bypass rules. But if you don't have anything on the device, you don't want to configure or it's not supported, you can do and you are doing pure routing to Zscaler, sending the full route to Zscaler via the tunnel, then you can use the routed bypasses. In this demonstration, we are also adding the chance to see how availability is configured. Now, following the same, you need to create a JSON file, and you need to download and apply the JSON file. In this demonstration, we are going to deploy two connectors. Each connector will connect to primary, secondary node, and in high availability, the connectors have the capacity to manipulate the default route to the internet. Then the connector will select which one is the ENI, the target here, to go to the Zscaler. And in case one is down, the other one will select their own ENI to connect to Zscaler. Then let's take a look of the task we need to do. The first is to take a look at this file. Configure user data JSON file. This is an example. I created two, one for each connector I'm going to deploy. And what we'll need to do is to put the cloud name, API token ID. We need to generate in advance a token ID for the API, and you can run the script on support side, or you can come here to this website that we create the way to generate the token, and also the country and time zone. Because for the API, the format of country and time zone is quite particular, then you can create on this website. The next is to configure DNS and to configure the bypass proxy URL, where you can specify your bypasses for machines with backfile or ZApp internal local proxy. And also you can put your syslog servers, the activation code for the SCCM agent, tunnel redundancy. This is a new in version 3 as well. What to do if returning to the primary tunnel, yes or no, when you are switched to the secondary. By default, in previous version, the connector was testing when switching to secondary was testing the primary, and if the primary was 10 minutes stable, automatically the connector is going back to the primary. Today there are more nodes, and there are regions that you don't need to switch back to the primary. For example, if you are in Germany, you have Munich and Frankfurt, and in this case it's much better you can use any of those. In node selection, this is in the process of auto provisioning which node to select if they are in country or not. Again, same example like Germany. If you are close to the border with Netherlands, and probably the Amsterdam node is very close to you, but you are in Germany, then you are able to say use first my node in country, then it will select Munich or Frankfurt. Location values, here is the location name. The location name will appear in your Zscaler console, country, time zone. Values for the location values on the console, authentication, subrogate IP, the timers, the firewall, and the IPS control. And finally, I'm selecting here the URL where to download the routed bypass. The routed bypass can be put as rule here, or you can put in a central place. I prefer to have it on a bucket on a central place. And here is how the routed bypass looks like. It's very similar. You can do an analogy with the security groups in AWS outbound. And I created, you can do rules per source IP, destination IP. It's quite more complete, the security groups. A security groups is only per destination. In this case, you can do source IP and destination IP and from port to port. In this case, I created a rule for login URLs of Office 365, also a test page for quiz.net, and UDP for Skype and Teams. Right, not to send UDP via Zscaler, send it directly. Then this is my rules. This is the traffic I want to bypass. Login URLs maybe because conditional access rules, or I don't want to apply multi-factor authentication when the virtual desktop is on AWS. Okay, but we are ready to start. Then the first we need to do, I forgot to mention after the initial setup, we are going to deploy the high availability where we specify the route tables, and we need to deploy first to know the instance ID of each CSC to put it here. Then let's go first for the creation of the first location. I will put here, this is the syslog server. It will collect all the activity when is during the deployment. Then I go to CloudFormation here. I will put the first one in big. I will create a stack using file. I'm going to use this YAML file. Is almost the same that in previous versions. Then upload file. Next, put the name. I will put the same name that the location for the stack and also for the VM. On parameters, select your VPC, your external subnet, and your internal subnet. Normally, when you deploy on high availability, you put each one on different availability zone. I will put both on the same at this moment, but normal deployment, you use external, internal, and another availability zone. And this is here the difference between this version and the previous one. I can copy here the values of the user data. Next. Next. And next. That's it. Okay. The stack is starting now, and I will put here the logs to see when something is coming up. And let's create the other connector. Next, stack name. It's the number 2. Name for the VM the same. Name my VPC, the external subnet, the internal subnet. Okay. And that's small. And here I will paste the data. Okay, next. Next. And next. Okay. Now let's take a look of the instance running on EC2. I have a machine behind on this configuration. I have a machine here. So you can see the VM is coming up. Then I will use this instance ID to configure, meanwhile this is happening, the apps. This one. Okay. This is high availability, is the CA high availability, and I will check now again the instance here. Probably we have the 2 here. I will pick up the instance ID to put it on the other one. Yeah, instance ID of the other connector. Okay. Well, something is happening, it's booting now, it's doing the initial configuration. Meanwhile, this is happening, I will upload these 2 on a bucket, these 2 files. Now it's created a static IP, the GRE tunnel, the location was created on the Zscaler console, and we'll create the roles, and that is all automatic. Meanwhile, this is happening, just put this on a bucket, and then I will come here to this bucket, and I will upload the files. Okay. One important thing, there is a lot of frustration with buckets now. Then you need to be sure that you're applying the proper permissions to the bucket. This is for high availability. I want public access here to the file, read, understand, save. And now we'll do in the other one. Permissions, edit, read. Yeah, I understand. Save. Okay, this is the second one. Now the location is created on the Zscaler console for the 2. And after this is created, both will reboot and will start from scratch again doing all the configurations. If I check my Zscaler console on location management, I have these locations created with all the IPs, with all I need, the tunnel, all the stuff that I want for my location. As you can see, it's very easy. Yeah, now it's going to do all the rest of the stuff. Let's take a little minute here. Okay. And also on the system manager, we can check if the CSCs are provisioning. Okay, here we have the 2 CSCs connected. Then the one is active, the 196, this one is active. I need to wait the other one to wake up. Then for the 196, that is the one, what I'm going to do is to send the file for the high availability. Okay. Then I need to come here. Let's take a look first how that's running command. Now the second one is working. Okay, running command. I will run AWS, run shell script. Okay. Okay. And I'm downloading to the one the JSON for high availability. Now the second is up as well. Okay, let's work it. I need to download the high availability JSON, the second one now. Okay, run command, AWS, run. Okay, this is for number 2, choose instance, and let's run this. Okay. Okay, that looks good. Then we're going to do a quick check how the both instances are, and I will run a command, document, sorry, owned by me, the standard documents that we provide. I will run show configuration status on both to see if all the tunnels are up and what are the okay. Open it tab, open it up. All good. On the output here, you can see the values of the connector, the traffic radar options, the public IPs, all the configuration, the status is all reachable. And it is active and used in New York. Okay. And the next I need to do is to reload the high availability to enable high availability. Let's take a look of the other one. Again, all the information interfaces, VMs, keep alive, layer 7 are all good. And it's connected to New York and no HI. Well, what we need to resolve now is the problem of the HI here. As soon as I enable HI, this default route will be modified and the connector will set up its own ENI as target. Then let's do it using the system manager. Again, let's run command. Let's run a document. Owner by me. And this is quite fast. Let me show here the logs. If not, you will not be able to see it. Run. Apps. I need to select the instance. And run. Yes, this is happening now. It looks like I did the run. The wrong files. Okay, let's take again. This is 1, and the instance ID of 2 is this CBF. Oh, no, sorry. It's saying I forgot one important step here. That is assign the IAM role. I need to read my own instructions first. Yeah, no. The non-security. Okay, save. And the second one. Secure. Okay. Okay. And now let's see if it works. This is the command. We are going to run the command. Okay, now it looks much better. It's picking up all the routing tables as all the stuff. It takes about 20 seconds to change, and let's wait this to finish. This is end, and I have a machine here. This machine is behind the connectors is here. It will be affected by the route as soon the route change. Then I need to wait for the routing table to to change, well, it's done. And here, this the bypass need to show me. Okay. And if I put other port, then okay, when using port 80 is going, sorry, when using 443 is going via Zscaler, and the bypass is for using port 80. Okay. Then this is working. The next to check is my VPC. To refresh this, I expect to see one of the connectors. Here is telling me which one is the connector. The default route was blah, blah, blah using this. Then now I have this active, this BB. Let's check on the EC2 who has the working on the internal interface, this one. Okay, this one, the A is the one that is active. Well, this is the end of the video. As you can see now, it's very, very simple with version 3. There's just to create this JSON file, and all AWS resources will be done. All Zscaler resources will be done. Automatic proxy bypass and routed bypass rule will be downloaded from the URL configured. The next step, if you want to do a high availability, put the role on the instance. Don't forget to do it, and download the JSON file with the high availability values and run the document. And that's it. It's all up and running now, and we have the connection from this instance to the place. Well, thank you very much for this video. I hope you like it, and stay well and safe. Thank you. Cheers. Bye.